Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World, fresh off of Fox News Saturday night with Jimmy Failla, where I'm pleased to say I won the yellow jacket. Jim Failla, it's Monday.
And I'm pleased to say I'm still employed, so far as I know.
A miracle.
You have no idea. I didn't see that show until today.
Yeah. You lived it.
We kept our campaign promise. There were at least 700 inappropriate jokes by the standards of decency. But the funny thing about the standards of decency is we've never observed them. It's not a holiday we celebrate in our religion, let's just say.
There are more suggestions than standards.
Yeah, it's again, we say New York is the only town where the stop signs have question marks at the end of the word. They're like, a stop? I don't know. That's us. So you did win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
One of the hardest things to do in sports is win when you're expected to.
That's true.
But you did it. You were the secretariat of that panel. You led it wire to wire.
I was not even listening to the questions because I can't tell what's real and what's fake in that game. Mm-hmm. The only thing I was doing, the way I play, it's just math. Wow. So I was paying attention to what the questions were before me, and then I just used probability that if there were two Floridas, they're not going to do a third Florida in a row. See, then I said fake news.
People talk about the downsides of being on the spectrum, but they never truly give you a nod to the upside. But Kennedy, the reigning champion of fake news in Florida.
The Rain Man champion.
Putting her challenges to work for her. And we admire that about you.
Neurodiversity.
So the way my life has gone since Thursday, is they let us, Fox graciously allowed us to pre-tape that show.
Thank God.
Because
doesn't always happen.
Does not always happen that way. But because I had pre-committed to stand-up dates before we launched the show in Montana and Spokane, Fox graciously allowed me to get on 6 flights in 48 hours. My God.
You must be exhausted.
Let me just tell you this, because I'll tell you the story and why it means a lot that you're giving me a forum to discuss this, okay?
It's important.
Just forget about how I feel now. Forget about how I feel yesterday. Just by Saturday night, in the hour before I went on stage, my bones and my organs were so hurt from sleep deprivation that I was actually backstage, an hour before you and me go on stage, I have our Wonder Boom and I'm blasting music and I'm in a good mood.
We've stopped at a Best Buy to get one on the road.
If we forgot a speaker, we buy a speaker.
And that's how important that is.
I spent an hour and a half before showtime in Spokane Saturday night with no music on, laying in a fetal position on a couch because I was in pain.
Jimmy.
Now let's talk about why it's so crazy. And this is where airlines are. I say this, and we've said this before.
Are you Diddy's new drug mule? Is that what you're telling me?
No. Try old.
Where's the fanny pack?
Try old one. Hence the bad mood. This was avoidable when I could still fly privates. But now that all this Diddy stuff went up, no one ever talks about the little guy. Anyway, so here's the way it worked. Friday night, I'm in Montana. And the way Helena, Montana works, people always say, how do you get a gig in Helena, Montana? You piss off your agent. You really upset your agent to the point that you're now booked in Helena, Montana. I kid. We love you, Montana. Okay.
Great state.
Helena, Montana is, of course, the type of place you get to through a regional airport. Mm-hmm. So you fly to Salt Lake City, 5 hours, happy Friday. Mm-hmm. That flight's at 5:05 in the morning. You then connect to the Helena Regional, which has 2 gates.
Oh, so that's fun.
But imagine how funny it is when you get a text from Delta updating you to a gate change. I'm like, well, thank you for that, because I would have missed the flight if I didn't know we were flying out of 1A instead of 1. Like, is that an issue? But apparently that's what they think of your intelligence, because that's how they treat you. They treat you as if you're stupid, because on some level you'd have to be. Here's why. Booking a multi-city trip, means you can't cancel any leg of the trip without abandoning your ride home.
Yes.
But I didn't know this.
And they fine you for
that.
So
this is where the party goes wrong. Are you ready?
In Germany, that's a 9-9.
So every one of these flights, Friday night, I have a meet and greet that ends at midnight. Oof. But I have a flight back out Saturday morning at 5:05 a.m.
Mm-hmm. To go to Spokane.
The promoter says, by the way, I'm driving to Spokane because it's the nicest drive in the world. At which point I like a nice drive. And
Absolutely.
I say to myself, well, if I'm driving to Spokane, I can go back to my hotel right now and sleep 8 hours.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of sleeping 3 and going to the airport, drive it is. Cancel the rental car. Call up Delta. I'm so excited about the possibilities that while I'm placed on hold at Delta, I drive over to the local cigar bar and light one up with some radio affiliates and fans of the show.
Fantastic.
At which point we throw them on speakerphone and smoke the night away because it takes a while to get them on hold. They do this thing to their credit where they'll call you back at the number.
Sure.
And once they volunteered
and
that,
they usually give you a ballpark.
yeah,
like,
they do. So
your call time will be 42 minutes
that's what
from
they
now.
told me. They said it was 48 minutes.
Yeah.
So I've now committed to the 48 minutes, at which point it's now 1 a.m. and I'm smoking a cigar. I do get that phone call at 1 a.m. It takes us till 2 a.m. to ascertain that I cannot cancel this flight.
Come on now.
Because any cancellation
and you were
of this
tired
flight,
to begin with.
stop it. Any cancellation of
Now you're going to have to be up in an hour.
Just give me this. So any cancellation of this flight means I don't have a ride home from Spokane to New York. And I can't rebook because the flight is booked. But I'm put down as a note. I said, listen, I'm so desperate right now. I'm willing to cancel and rebuy my seat from you as a one-way. And they're like, we can't sell that to you. It's trip lagging or skip lagging or whatever the hell it is.
It's not,
you need to get to the airport. So it's now 2 a.m., okay, almost 2:30. I have a flight. My first leg of my flight is at 5:05 in the morning. So my only option now is to just stay awake. So I stayed awake.
And you were already exhausted.
Oh, I was destroyed. So by the time I got to Spokane at 9:30 in the morning and now had till 9 p.m. at night till I went on stage, and I was just a disaster. Show was great. Crowd was great. Flight home was also at 5:05 in the morning. But the point is, I am a beaten, sad man. And not normally in the way I pay to become a beaten, sad man. Craigslist was not involved at any point during this trip. But you know this.
I'm not. I'm a United flyer.
You are.
And a lot of people badmouth United. They hate United.
So they don't have a friend who belongs to that lounge.
Yeah.
Oh, the greatest travel moments of my life involving you being on a first name basis with every United bartender in America.
in the United lounge.
I have never walked into a United lounge and not. It's funny. I have a Bloody Mary on my table before I know which table is mine. Like I walk in and it's just there. It's no. I've never traveled with anyone better, but you were not there, sadly. And man, I didn't want you to be there in spirit either. I didn't want you to see me that way. It was a beatdown.
I would have evaporated. I cannot function without sleep.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
I wish I were one of those people that when I get 4 hours a night and I run 20 miles a day and I'm up at 4 a.m. and I love it. I'm energized by having absolutely no energy at all whatsoever. No, I need to sleep like 8 or 9 hours a night. Like I have to.
Yeah, I was beaten down, and I am a person who runs on a lot of touch and go landings. But it really, it broke me down to nothing. So last night, to my credit, I actually slept 9 hours.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I feel fine now.
That's the incredible thing. You can make up sleep deficit in one night.
Well, yeah, that's what no one tells you about Adderall. I'm kidding. I'd be too obnoxious. I know I actually, it's funny. I have theories about what drugs the elected officials are on.
Yeah.
But but again, they just might not be flying Delta and they're allowed to sleep.
Oh, no, because they got Air Force One, don't they?
Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, Air Force chump. Bunch of jerks. All right, so you guys were having a very important conversation about pizza.
Yes.
Out here.
Yep, that's what we were supposed to get to, so thank you.
Is New York City pizza still the best pizza in the world? Because New Jersey, they claim that they have the best pizza and the best bagels in the world. And they'll fight you for it.
Well, this is the thing, okay? Everybody has an affinity for their local. It's what they grew up. It's like at a residence. It's like most people like their mom's cooking. Mm-hmm. And there are probably people out there whose moms can't cook. Mine can. Your mom can. Her peach cobbler recipe
delightful
is outrageous.
Amen.
Oddly enough, the only person with a mom who couldn't cook is Steve Ducey. And he sells I'm kidding. He sells all these cookbooks. It's crazy. He's like the Milli Vanilli of chefs.
Aging Dr. Freud.
I kid. Shout out to Steve Ducey. But stick with me. I think everyone's partial and territorial towards their own thing. But as a person who's not only eaten pizza everywhere in the country, but looks like he gets paid in pizza, I would say this. I do give New York the belt. I do give New York the belt for the best overall pizza because I'm basing that on their ability to sell it to you straight up with cheese and nothing else.
That's the way it should be.
Yes.
I mean, that's like French food. Like the best French food is very simple. It has like 3 or 4 ingredients.
Yeah, it's not even
all in the preparation.
The best French food, the steak isn't even cooked. They don't even bother to cook the best French food. They don't get an oven involved.
They just wad it up and throw it at your face.
We'll put our raw steak. It's dog food. We'll put our dog food against what you're giving the humans over there.
Yeah.
So no, I do believe in a 0 to 60, New York does have the best pizza. But what's happening around the country is people's definition of pizza is very much predicated on what's popular by then. So to give you an example, where Jenny lives in Wapakoneta, Ohio, they have something phenomenal. It's called trackside pizza because it's always served near like little train towns. And it would look like our traditional Sicilian, like a flat sheet pizza, but no one orders
a rectangular.
Yes, but no one orders it straight. You can get anything you want. You know what I mean? You get a sausage pepperoni with a Reebok pump. You know what I mean? From 1989.
Sounds like it would be chewy and inedible. It's actually quite succulent.
It's better than you think.
Yeah.
But again, they swear by it. Like you could argue with Jenny's family. They would say their pizza's better than ours because your palate. You know, familiarity breeds contempt is something Jenny says to me a lot in our marriage. But no, in theory, your palate, it's the opposite. You find comfort in eating those things. So I would say, for my money, it has the best pizza, but I would expect people to push back. And we famously once had on your show a bagel challenge, which is ironic because you're not eating gluten.
Can't eat gluten. Celiac.
We had a bagel.
Dumb disease. It sucks.
We had a bagel challenge. That's unbelievable. It's not as bad as the time Shep was here and we had a wet T-shirt contest with the ladies, but it's right there with
That was sexy.
That was hot. And congrats on winning. No one saw that coming.
Least of all me, Jim.
Not even the tour manager.
No.
Oh, man. But anyway, the point is, I think everybody, even when it came to bagels, because you invoked bagels, Jersey people, again, like their bagels because it's what they grew up around, and they
swear
very good.
It's the salt content in the water.
But this is it at the end of the day, okay? There is such a thing.
They're a bunch of filthy, depraved animals.
Well, there's that. But there's certain things, like pizza, it's like bread, cheese, and sauce is going to be pretty good anywhere.
Yeah.
Me and you
Unless it's on a gluten-free crust, and then it sucks.
Or a cauliflower crust. My favorite moment in the history of pizza is in the summer of 2020 when they looted the Target, and the only thing left in the freezer was the cauliflower pizza. There were 50 of them. They had looted a store, taken everything. They had taken bolts for the copper, but no one touched the cauliflower pizza. I'm like, this is an inflection point for the country. We should acknowledge this. So I could see them all wanting to go anywhere with their own pizza. I will stand by New York as the winner. But to your point about the dough in Jersey, and I'm really hogging the mic today.
Jim, that's okay.
No, it's a lot.
I mean, I've been dozing off this whole time.
All right. It was walk this way, but not talk this way. I've been a rude guest.
Not at all. Jim.
Sorry. No, I'm fine. I'm having a good time. I don't care. I'm just trying
We're going to start recording this pretty soon.
Next time we're going to turn your mic on, Fats. Anyway, the bagel thing is this. Okay, again, there were a lot of things people do to bagels now. Like I used to order a plain bagel or a poppy seed bagel or an onion bagel or an everything bagel.
Everything bagel is great.
Was considered it was if you took a plain and put an onion and a poppy and maybe a garlic on it, and that was an everything bagel. A traditional everything bagel now is still that. It doesn't encompass the French toast bagel they now sell you, the bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, the marble bagel, the cinnamon bagel, the cinnamon raisin
rainbow bagel.
Yeah, the rainbow bagel it's a whole nother, reason for being. Rainbow bagel, oddly enough, is not attached to pride because gay men care about their physique too much
There's no way
to eat that many bagels.
Absolutely not.
That's what's odd. I think it's a way for homophobic men to look like they're fine with it. Oddly enough. But yeah, the bagel has exploded beyond all believable bounds. But the best things are the best at their core. That's why you and I can say this with confidence. Chuck E. Cheese has good pizza.
I miss it.
The Chuck E. Cheese little kid birthday party pizza.
They're perfect sizes too. Just a little triangle.
Bisquick, if I had to guess. Yep. Some type of lousy jar sauce and cheese, but it's a good time.
And it's consistent, like McDonald's fries. It's going to taste the same wherever you go.
Oh, they're so good.
Oh, Jim, well, next time we'll talk about best fast food fries because there's a lot of controversy in this subject.
You could charge me $3.99 a minute to talk about fries. And you have. And you have. That's how we met, oddly enough. Thanks for calling 970-FRY. I'm like, hi, what are you frying?
Are you using canola oil?
I bet you are. You're a dirty girl, are you?
We have to go. They're kicking us out of the room. Oh, this has been Kennedy Saves the World. The Lord hath risen because of this show. He was like, I'm coming back for this. It's that good. Along with Jimmy Failla, I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.